There's still coffee, but it's the one with the added creamer?
No. The creamer is separate.
It's separate.
So I got
All right.
both.
I'll see you in the back end.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Patrice, for that. Let's get into the papers this morning. We've got a number of them in front of us. And gentlemen, you want me to run through the front pages?
Yes, front page.
Okay, all right. The News Center newspaper this morning says Goldfields pays 2.9 billion Ghana cedis to government in 2026 first half. Coca Kujo set pace in Ashanti Eastern NPP race, and we've got 12 perish, 22 injured in multiple vehicle crash at Ofankor. That's what we've just been discussing this morning. Vigilante justice at police headquarters. IGP police under fire over civilian slapping suspect, and I saw that video making the rounds on social media, and a lot of you had a lot to say. We'll talk about it. The Custodian newspaper, fearless, fair, and reliable. This is what the front page has to say. Police foil a Bonny bank robbery, kill 2. When I tell you, yesterday sounded like one kind of action movie, one kind of action film. La ilah. Asanteman Coca chairman Kujo tipped to win Ashanti Eastern NPP chair races. Recalled Parliament must correct Cocoa Bill. That's Opong Nkrumah speaking, and he's also pictured here on the front page. NPP sets timelines for national executive polls. The Free Press this morning says former MP Hajia Alima Mahama in $21.4 million mess. Kwame Nkrumah Park is the most visited tourist site. You know that there's the makeover. When did the makeover happen? Some 2-3 years ago. 2 years ago, and certainly
it's raking in. I think 3 years ago.
3 years ago, we saw that makeover.
It's raking in a lot of.
That's good news. Free Press to be on the newsstands every Mondays and Thursday. Okay, if you want to read it, Monday and Thursday. And shake up at National Security Secretariat. Rebuild Ghana boxing. That's also another conversation that I think should be had.
Oh, absolutely.
Boxing, we have what it takes to be the boxing hub.
Yeah.
But we're not making opportunities.
I mean, the Bukom Boxing Arena, whenever there's been events put together, comes to life in such marvelous and wonderful nature. It's just surprising. We've not been able to really follow up.
Really tap into that,
We don't have plans.
I mean, boxing rakes in billions of dollars across the world each year. We have such great talents. I mean, I talk about us having cocoa. We need to have our chocolate museum. People from all over the world come and we take them on a journey, how cocoa was discovered, how it's grown, how we dry it, how we use it to make chocolate. I mean, we're not tapping into some of these low-hanging fruits. I mean, anyways. And finally,
Nelson and Co.
I'm telling you.
You know, he has his name engraved on the WBC belt. Azuma Nelson has his name engraved on it. I mean, he ran 10 years straight. Nobody could beat him. What are you talking about? You have him, Ikwoti, you have Nana Kodedu, you have all we don't have plans for all this. Sorry.
We don't have plans.
We don't have plans.
An open letter to Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Marking. I don't know who's writing to him, but it's captured on page 4. All right.
Okay, the Ghanaian Point this morning says Bolgatanga Airport to take off by end of 2026, according to President Mahama. Also on the front page, young Ghanaians deserve opportunities to build their future. This is according to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Adamos mining assets not for sale despite lease revocation. This is from Lands Ministry. NPP sets October 3 for national executive elections. Nominations open August 17. And 11 confirmed dead, 13 casualties recorded in Ofankor barrier crash. The Informer this morning says OSP helps FBI nail ex-Tor boss in $1 million bribery case. Stop hiding insults behind democracy. This is Napo telling Ghanaians, Matthew Puku Prempe telling Ghanaians to stop hiding insults behind democracy. Galamsey West off under Mahama. This is A. Rocha saying. And Upper East Airport's construction to begin by end of 2026. Police foil Laboni Bank robbery, kill 2. And then Brekum residents protest against Galamsey. The Daily Statesman this morning says, let the probe speak. Kingsley Ajiman lawyers tell UK High Commissioner. Napo says Buzia's legacy must go beyond nostalgia. Coca for Asante and Kujo for Easton. NPP seeks farmer-friendly changes in cocoa bill. The Evening Mail this morning says, all set for NPP regional elections. Agenda 111 private deals face RTI scrutiny. Osei Asari demands probe into $1.7 billion gold program losses. Ajiman fights back over scholarship allegations. And Brent Yo pushes for National Cancer Authority dedicated fund. The Inquisitor says, robbery against Coca as crooks use DMB's name to campaign for Kukufu. TCDA flies higher, holds oil palm forum, distributes inputs to tree crop farmers. Eduji Tamaklo leads NPA to commiserate with late Dramani Bukari family. And that's it. The new trust says, Dr. Gideon Boako rallies support for Coca, says his grassroots links make him the best candidate for Asante NPP chairmanship position. The Morning Post this morning says, engage now Africa, and sign global university sensitize students on human trafficking. More Ghanaians dying on Libya route to Europe, buried with Muslim rights. Anna Tete warns. The Daily Analyst, death toll hits 12, 22 injured, and I believe he's talking about the Ofankor accident. NPP demands OSP probe into ASKA bribery, and TCDA leads Ghana's 100,000 hectare oil palm push. Finally, police foil planned robbery attack on 3 Laboni banks, 2 suspects killed. Yeah, you have some.
Yes. On my Ledger Daily,
okay,
I have BOG's mid-rate jumped from 11.74 Ghana cedis to 11.35 Ghana cedis. And Adamus Resources, government has upheld revocation of 3 gold mining leases. Legal vacation. The CJ's warrant apparently did not name specific cases. Accra Brewery shutdown is a risk, not yet a decision. And cocoa, no new farmer arrears reconciliation while production remains high. And then Cocoa Board, LBCs can no longer buy farmers' cocoa on credit. On the cocoa bill too, farmer resistance has become a national policy issue. And on gold, government now wants 30% of large-scale production. And we also have BOG now records 10.98 Ghana cedis to the dollar for August 13th. And business, some industries say electricity costs have jumped more than 40%. And then on Adamus again, the next test is whether government publishes the full case. On Beacon, the argument is now about who should investigate Ghana's side. And that's it for the Ledger Daily.
Okay. There's Ghanaian Times also. Let's do Ghanaian Times.
Let's do Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
And then
Ghanaian Times this morning says, Ofankor crash claims 11 lives and injures 13. Road indiscipline blamed. 82,500 Ghanaians use hard drugs. NHIA releases 35.1 million Ghana cedis for free primary healthcare services. Stakeholders push for fair and sustainable public sector pay system. And then vacate or face eviction. That is coming from, I'm pretty sure, is Gridco. Oh no, minister gives power line encroaches 1 month notice. This is a very terrible thing. Almost everywhere we have power lines running, you see a lot of mechanics and people selling charcoal and so many other things encroaching, because that place is a no man's land. No one is supposed to be there. But because, again, we don't have a task force from the various institutions, especially GridCo, because they have their gas pipeline going through those places as well. They don't protect it. So these lands are there, they encroach on it, and these are the things we keep seeing. It's growing everywhere. I've written letters to GridCo, to ECG, and to the Assembly, that these guys, they use petrol tankers and they weld them, either with electric or gas. And the cables they are huge pylons, and they're just below. When they climb to the top of, what's the name? A tanker, they are not too far from it. If an explosion should happen, what is going to happen? Because those are lines that run all the way from Makosumbo to Tema. So the moment we disturb the integrity of any of those lines, a lot of us will be in deep trouble. Some are even winning sand under it. So the legs on which the pylons stand are weakened. And these ones, they just take simple management. Task force, just go around the various communities and check who is encroaching and who is not encroaching. It leads to a very critical thing. Most people use cars. Most people in positions of authority, they use cars. Yet we don't try, or we do not at all designate places for these mechanics to be at. It is one thing that beats my mind. Because when your car gets spoiled or gets faulty, you want a mechanic to handle it. But where? So if we don't create spaces for them, they would find the spaces, and then they end up lodging underneath these pylons because they are a no man's land.
I mean, for lodging under pylons, so there's a lot that happens in this country that just happens by chance. Sometimes it leaves you feeling something, right?
Say it.
Every time when we are having conversations, or today we're talking about accidents, and you'll be asking yourself, I'm just going to use the Ofanko as a case in point. How long should we have a conversation about street lights on that stretch of road for it to continue over and over and over again? Yes, it may cut across possibly different assemblies, right? And so there has to be procurement process here. Look, I've been on that road over the last 25 years.
Wow.
Right? And today, I have not been there in a while. Christian has confirmed nothing has changed.
Please, teacher, have you ever had anybody sacked before?
Right?
Please, teacher. Has anybody been sacked? So
understand.
these accidents keep happening, the statistics go up, and then they sack the MTTD boss and the deputy, they just sack them. Or we say that there are no lights on the road. How come you don't have lights on your road?
5
MCE,
years.
away.
That stretch. And so when you're driving every time, look, I'm not saying that to go back to the conversation about.
I know, Roads and Highways Authority.
I'm just saying that to suggest that sometimes it's so difficult to appreciate why simple fixes can take so long. Right? Simple fixes. And so in the case of the pylon, I grew up at Aoshi, Elang. The pylons, there are people operate and do business under them.
Yeah, of course.
It's been the case. In fact, it's been the case since I was young. It almost makes you grow up thinking it's normal, but it's actually not. You understand? And so that's why I asked the question, who checks these things? Because I grew up thinking, but I never was comfortable walking under it. Because when you are going under, you hear the sound of power being transmitted from one point to the other. And so I've never felt comfortable from Aoshi, Banyard, to the Lafa area. In fact, I was when it rained on June 29, I was raising concerns about one such pylon, which sits close to one of the bridges, the Lafa.
Yeah.
When it rains, the floodwaters has been eating away the sun underneath it. And I think on June 29, someone called, and I raised that that issue. I've not been to Awoshi in a while, but I bet when I go there, you will still find the pylon sitting close to the major drain, and the next rainstorm, whatever, the sun will be. So it leaves you asking the question, okay, I see it every day. What about the people who are supposed to do something about it? Yes, I appreciate that there are genuine and legitimate difficulties. I speak to that because Ebi Bright, who is the mayor of Tema, has been writing about what are genuine challenges with respect to running an assembly and being able to fix things as quickly as you want. But 5 years to get lights fixed and on a fan call to do something.
This is why Chinese kindergartners are manufacturing all kinds of gadgets and gizmos because they don't wake up and ask for street lights. They've moved past these conversations.
Of course.
Every morning, where's the street light? I mean, they are building things, they are building robots. The conversation is so elevated, and you think, well, of course, we'll be doing A for animal, B for bat, C for cats.
Let me do the online review now. We're starting off with 3news.com. Updates. 2 gunned down, 1 arrested as police foil multi-bank robbery attempt in Laboni. The girl queen meets 10-year-old Nana Ifua Kumiwa the first, the Abontin Dom and Kobi Ahema of Awukugwa.
The Abontin Dom and Kobi Ahema.
Abontin Dom. No, it's Hema written here. Maybe it's Hemia that it's supposed to be. Teacher unions maintain September 7 deadline to strike if Fair Wages Salaries Commission fails to address their concerns. Ashanti region tops maternal mortality rate list, Regional Health Directorate, and Bolgatanga Airport construction to start by end of 2026. MyJoyOnline.com, 24-hour economy must go beyond slogans. AGI demands concrete action. I think we were having that conversation here yesterday. The AGI was also making similar claims from there yesterday, from a program they held yesterday. Blank passports, visa stickers found in office of Ghana Embassy IT officer accused of concealing digital records. ASKA energy bribery scandal. Public inquiry will expose shame culprit. Minshia South NP. NPP's concerns over AG's credibility to probe ASKA energy deal baseless, according to the NDC. National Road Safety Authority probes Aboboya link to Ofankor crash that killed 12. Fuel prices have risen by more than 33% in Ghana since the start of the year. As a research, and AGI opens talks with Finance Ministry over ABL tax crisis, demands urgent resolution. There's an interesting one here. Cocoa Board threatens to withdraw LBC licenses over cocoa purchases on credit. If I take you to City Newsroom, that's their big banner story. Cocoa Board bans LBCs from buying cocoa from farmers on credit. Also here, demolish illegal structures around forts, castles, Jifa Gumashi. National Cathedral funds could have completed some Agenda 111 hospitals. Ayeni. Business confidence remains strong despite rising costs. AGI. 4 Ghanaian onion trucks released as Ghana Nigeria trade dispute ends. So the onions would have gone bad. Ghana Web. Police arrest Nigerian suspect in foiled Laboni robbery. And there's an interesting comment which was made by Cyril in the newsroom as to disparities in the statement from the police statement. Initially, they had said they foiled a robbery attack. That's what the first statement said. And the second one, then the second one says it was an attempted robbery. And so they were just raising disparities in terms of first one suggesting that there was an ongoing robbery, then the second one suggesting it was a foiled attack amongst others. But those are pictures and videos in relation to it, and the suggestion that the individuals had just a blowgun. And then the police also says there was exchange of gunfire and all of that. Some of the questions being asked in relation to what really transpired, but
Congratulations to the police for foiling this.
Absolutely.
Done well.
In relation to that, scariest day of my life, Nana Banamwa, I was a media personality. She was close by around Laboni when the gunshots began. A number of persons who were close by spoke to being very scared. Also here, see the full list of 26 judges on vacation duty. And this is not the person. Netizens challenge police over identity of man who assaulted, arrested for slapping pastor. You know
there was a story like that. Yeah, that's
a story. In fact, someone
saw
was
the video.
Yeah,
Really Gadochi.
someone. It was a TikTok live. Some inflammatory comments. Religious had made some inflammatory religious comments. A pastor was arrested, and then, whilst he was in police custody, there was a filming, and someone was doing a TikTok live whilst they were in the CID custody. And during the TikTok live, they slapped someone slapped the pastor. Subsequently, the person has been arrested. Okay. But a lot of people are saying, look, if you look at the body stature of the person who did the slapping and the person who's been paraded as arrested for doing the slapping, they don't look anything alike. So the police should come again.
Yeah.
The police should come again in terms of an explanation as to that front. But that's beautiful.
Yeah. I thought I was going to say something about the new what's the name? Is it not too handsome for the job?
That's why we said you should swallow it.
Okay, sorry.
Let's get a bit more in terms of details.
It's good looking, pal.
How is that a problem? I want to start off with because we like to deal with a lot of cocoa related issues. Okay. Cocoa board banning LBCs from buying cocoa from farmers on credit.
Yes.
The Ghana Cocoa Board has barred licensed buying companies from purchasing cocoa beans on credit from farmers, warning that breaching the directive. One of the companies that breach the directive risk losing their operating license. Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randiabi, speaking at the launch of the Chamber of Cocoa Marketers, said the regulator has formally instructed LBCs to end the practice as part of measures to strengthen liquidity, improve payments discipline, and restore efficiency across Ghana's cocoa supply chain. He disclosed that Cocoa Board has already communicated the directive to LBC, stressing that a repeat violation could trigger license violation. The move comes as Cocoa Board prepares to overhaul the financing of cocoa purchases with a new funding module expected to provide sufficient liquidity for crop purchases and related operations. For me, the question I'll ask is, where is PBC in all of that?
Yeah, okay.
Because they are supposed to purchase 50% of the raw beans for onward processing.
Yeah.
So
what is stalling that?
We are yet to enter the crop season. So as we are discussing no buying on credit from the farmer, because there's a new pricing a funding model as well, which is coming on stream and all of that. So where they will fit in, because remember, this is the president's idea, was communicated by the finance minister, that we are going to process 50% of raw beans, and PBC must lead the charge in buying that. So as we are having the conversations and everything, let us find, this one is an advocacy that is being pushed, because the state must do business with the state so that
absolutely
profits and all of that can. But any other story of interest, for me, this is what has piqued my interest in relation to the conversations this morning.
Which one?
Well, AGI as well has been speaking in relation to the 24-hour economy, and they are asking that it must move beyond slogans to a bit more in terms of action.
I'll not speak to that.
Why won't you speak to that?
I will not. I will not speak to that because my mofo. Should I land myself in trouble?
I mean, yesterday I could tell that you were not completely sold, if at all, on the direction of the 24-hour.
The reason I'm not speaking to that is that it's coming from AGI. and it's been reported on 3FM. How many hours did we spend here in the studio?
No. This is on myjoyonline.com.
Okay. I thought you said 3FM reported
No.
something.
So 053-220-0927. 053-220-0927.
Okay.
There's an interesting message that's been shared with me by my colleague Komla Kluche. He says he's had very disgusted suggestions that the Achimota to Pokwase stretch has its street lights functioning. Let no one gaslight the public with these barefaced lies and pure wickedness that there are functioning street lights on the stretch. How did we get here as a country? We have leaders who have bragged fixing the lights, but reality is what we see here today. I live at ACP. I use that road every day and able to get home daily by God's grace. It cannot be the situation that the accident happened with the lights fully functioning. How is the regional minister and the mayor still in office after this accident? It's pure neglect and dereliction of duty. For us in that enclave, including Ablekuma to Pokwase, there is not a single light working. I'm no prophet of doom, but I won't be surprised another will occur before the start of next week. If these leaders cannot fix a simple light, why in God's name are they still in office? Well, I had not wanted to go back onto the entire conversation because today we deployed somebody there. We deployed Christian Yali to the Pokwase stretch, and I was making reference to the fact that the entire stretch is dark, and that's what's been communicated again by Komla Kluche, who lives there. I've not seen the comment which suggests that the lights are working. I haven't seen that, and so I don't know who has been speaking in that light, which is drawing his angst as well this morning. But it is what it is, as is the popular saying these days. Safiamo also sends a similar message and says that they live along that stretch. Let me just read that message as well. It says that I live along that stretch, and I can tell you one can hardly drive on that road at night without highlights on which, in return, inconvenience other motorists. Because the stretch is very dark, so you have to beam to see ahead of you.
So everybody's blinding each other.
And to make it worse, and I know that stretch very well. To make it worse, I was telling us yesterday that you see the big trailers and all of that, which are moving from here to Kumasi, to Burkina Faso and other places. They are on the stretch most of the time. And those vehicles don't speed. Sometimes some break down on the stretch. So if the road is dark and you can't see, you could
run into them,
drive into it very easily, actually, very, very easily. So that is the reality for a lot of persons who use that stretch.
Okay.
And has been so, like I said, for the last 5 years since I have used that road until recently when I don't. That is the situation. And it hasn't improved, doesn't look like it's going to improve. And it begs the question, like they are all asking, what will it take to have that stretch back on? And while we say it, right, the unscrupulous individuals who, when lights are fixed, go and not just remove the entire cables that constitutes the street light. It happens. Let's not kid ourselves, because if the lights are going to return onto that stretch, cables will have to be run through the poles again. That is one of the realities which we must face, because people who are also citizens go and they will go and pull out the cables which electricity will pass through to connect to the bulb. They will go and pull it out.
I believe 3FM, or was it even Media General in its entirety, made a donation to our stretch here a couple of years ago. I don't know whether it lasted a month and it was all stolen.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, that is as well a part of the reality when we have the street lights conversation.
They were stolen.
That we will give persons in authority hell because this is the barest of minimums that we deserve. But after that, there are also the unscrupulous individuals who will go. I mean, we can police a lot of things, but policing street lights.
I don't know the architecture of the street lights on the Ofankor Road. So to say that you need not be seen walking up on, because it's for automobiles. It's not for persons to walk there unless you are an authority designated to do that. I don't know the architecture of the road so well and see where the street lights are to be able to ascertain whether the person can be allowed to walk by that place or not. Can it be fenced off or not? Or should we just go to solar?
No, there are solar in some of them. Some of them are solar, so
the solar,
they come on by themselves.
Okay, you have to climb by
and
before.
then you fix it.
So I think the solar may be better, so nobody can, because the solar wouldn't use any cables in this regard. They wouldn't use any cables. My pick for the morning has to do with the Galamsey that is still going on. It's on the front page of the Informer. The Informer says that Galamsey west of under Mahama. That is what they are saying. It's a Rocha Ghana.
Arocha Ghana.
It's Arocha Ghana. Yeah, okay, so that's the saying. The saying Galamsey is west of under Mahama. Is that true or yes?
I would like to know what metrics they use to come by that assertion.
Because from one end of the thread, you hear that it's been curled. From another point, they tell you it's on the rise. What is the state of affairs? I think Anashigbe would be an ideal person to speak to this matter because he's at the far front of this, and I think we'd need to know some research. And that gentleman also in the Asante region, Erastus. Is that Erastus?
Yeah, Erastus Asare.
Yeah, he's also one. So we need to find out. We need to find out whether it's getting worse or not. Because if somebody should boldly claim that Galamsey is on the rise, then my brother.
3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM.
27 to the top of the hour, still on the news review segment. Kwame Asario, being known popularly as A+ as well, will be in studio with us pretty shortly as well. As a message here in relation to the 24-hour economy. There's a copy of the Ghanaian Times there as well, which says that the is from Kwame Dako in Koforidia, says, good morning, when the 24-hour project should be properly structured so that it does not become like the free SHS. That's a comment that's come through from Kwame Dako in Koforidia, who is also doing the listening. That's an interesting way to put it. I'm not sure the free SHS has suffered anything in particular, but for Sina Elik Blim, okay, this one is from Senior Sly. It says it's watching us.
Suffered a lot of things. It suffered a lot of things.
It's watching us live from Kwabenya GT. You're saying the implementation challenges.
Yeah,
but
curriculum, teachers, the shifts, the what's the name? Gold shift and the diamond shift and the bronze shift and all those things. I mean, those were the things. I'm sure that is what he's talking about. That the 24-hour economy should not be waffled in things like these. You know, that kind of thing. Where you claim you have a plan, but as what's the name? Neil Antibanda Point will say ground liquid, agroniform. So when you start off with a good plan, you know where you are moving. And for me, some of these plans, they are very easy to do. Reduce the taxes on items or at the ports for these malls. And then let them operate 24/7. Provide security. Like I mentioned yesterday, if your transport system is not monitored and managed by the state, the private person would like to go sleep. But if it's a state-sponsored thingy, and you believe that people are shopping at this time, they need means of transport to commute from one point to the other. And it's a state transport like the Ayalulu and so on. And they know I can catch the bus or catch the train. then it makes it simpler for people to commute from one point to the other. Some people need to work from morning till evening. They don't get the time to go out to go purchase any need of their life. So if after close of work, they can drive through the heavy traffic, and even at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, they can still go and buy things from somewhere. Why not? You know, there are some pubs that run 24 hours. People go out at night. There are a number of yes. So if those pubs are able to run in that regard, why can't we? I think we can only zone off the areas and communities. So you know, from let's say from ANC Mall all the way to a certain part, we can put a police barrier here and there, just to monitor. So those are things that we need to be looking at. It's pretty simple. So let's say Goil, for example. Goil is a state-owned, what's the name, oil and gas institution. Question being simple: why can't we have Goil run 24/7?
But yesterday we were told,
you know,
they don't own the stations, Patrice.
Yes, but the point is that they have the franchise.
Yeah.
You have the franchise,
and these are additional overhead. Because I'm not making excuses for them, but I think that's why the 24-hour economy should be resilient enough to accommodate some of these excesses. Because if you're expecting businesses to, take on more, then you should be willing to also create an enabling environment for them to take
radio
on
stations
more.
run 24/7.
Yeah.
TV stations run 24/7.
A few more in terms of messages. Neron de Boanegis says, until we put emotions and the mother syndrome aside and let the laws work, the roads and markets will never be clean. Nana Jima says that the body, about the accident, says it was not a snake bite and it was an accident victim, so you don't touch the body unprofessionally. It's a message he sends in relation to
the police getting the person
to the police not touching or dragging.
But that has resulted in the emergencies.
And
emergencies.
They are subjects. It's subject to conversations, right? That's in relation to the accident from
So, benefit of hindsight.
Yesterday.
Would you have rather the police charged one body and prevented 11 from dying? You get it. So touch one body. The person is what is wrong? We do forensics here, cry. You're not able to monitor people who are pulling out cables from your this, and then somebody is being knocked by a car and it's on the road, and you just hold the person and lift the person
fact
up.
that they don't do. See, one of the worst things that happens, particularly when there's an accident, is some of the people who attempt to provide help. In the initial scenes. They end up killing the people.
Look, let's find out if they do forensics, because what would have been the essence?
Forensics will be done, but I'm sure it's a speciality. It's a speciality.
So benefit
field,
of hindsight,
right?
What is the benefit of not touching the one person at the time? What would have happened? So now these things have happened. What would have happened?
And you see, the reason why is because these are eyewitness accounts.
Yes.
It has to be, investigations will have to establish that, okay, this and this is what really happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So these are eyewitness accounts and having
because
people...
Because at the time, I don't know how many people were awake. People at 3 a.m.
provide... So, and if the eyewitness account is anything to go by and the officer says, look, let's wait for a professional team which can come and deal with the situation as well and tries to direct traffic, you can't really argue against it. I mean, in terms of having the proper personnel come and deal
he had
with
the presence of mind. He had the presence of mind to say that let us allow a reinforcement to come. But in that presence of mind, did he have the accoutrements to control the traffic at the time? You get it? So it is two things. You have the presence of mind to say that let us call the appropriate persons or personalities to come and carry the body off the road. By so doing, I need to control the traffic. Did he have the right accoutrements to control the traffic? If he did not, safety would have told you that it is better to lift that one person off and prevent this. But because he didn't perceive that there could be a potential accident that would be so devastating, he didn't consider those things. That's why I'm saying that the training of the police comes with emergency situations and acting based on impulse.
Fair enough. There's a story in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times which is of interest. 82,500 Ghanaians use hard drugs.
How many?
82,500 Ghanaians are actively using hard drugs.
82,000 pay.
With the
That
Ashanti
doesn't
region
sound like a
accounting
high
for
number.
nearly 20% of the figure.
Ashanti region.
Yeah. The Director General of the Narcotics Control Commission, Major General Maxwell Obuba Mante, has disclosed. He said that the disturbing figure contained in a new study by the University of Ghana School of Public Health pointed to an escalating public health emergency that required urgent and coordinated action. The drugs identified in the study include heroin, cocaine, tramadol, and methamphetamine. I didn't know meth was a deal here.
Meth.
Oh, yes.
Meth. Huh. In this country called Ghana.
Speaking in Kumasi on Wednesday during the International Youth Day celebration, Major General Mante said the 82,000 estimate did not include cannabis, which remained the most widely abused illegal substance in the country. He said the study also revealed a worrying link between hard drug use and the spread of HIV in the Ashanti region, where an estimated 16,300 hard drug users were recorded. According to the study, HIV prevalence among drug users in the region stood at 6.6%, nearly 5 times Ghana's national prevalence of 1.4%. And for me, the reason I'm highlighting this story is that I have a pharmacist who is a colleague. So when we did the news card in relation to that, and good morning to you, Manuela Okaija, she sent a very interesting message and said the number actually is an underestimation.
I mean, for a population of 33 million, 82,000 seems like a very minute number.
Because you see, they are mentioning heroin and other things. And she told me that the focus is on those hard substances. When you go to the pharmacies and people are buying 5 cedi cough syrups and all of that to get high on, then you realize that it is a much bigger problem than we even make it seem. Right? So we are looking at, heroin, meth, and some others, but there's actually a much bigger problem in relation to actual drugs, medicines which are supposed to be used now being abused by the young for very obvious reasons as well. And so those are areas which they add require a bit more in terms of urgency and consideration as well, even as we continue the conversation in that regard.
That's interesting to note that I wonder, is it everyday people buying these cough syrups,
Oh, she mentioned one. It says there's a Letalin, which is only 5 cedis, and people are going to pharmacies and are buying it and they are abusing it.
I think they probably mix it also with, sometimes I believe, alcohol. I think that's another, I don't know if that's what the Americans call lean. I could be completely off targets.
So they get cough syrup and then they add alcohol.
Oh, the lean.
I think that's what they call lean, cough syrup mixed with alcohol.
The name comes from the brand Benelline. So.
I see. Yes. And that's what ultimately a lot of people are relying on for that high, a mix of cough syrup and alcohol. So a lot's happening in the scene.
Right. That is the voice of Helena Piampu for 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Must say that we can get into a bit more in terms of conversations now because Kwame Asari Obeng, A+, is a member of Parliament for Guma Central constituency, is joining us in studio right now.